How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today, as we've got a big game coming at you later on today. The Philadelphia Eagles will be visiting Arrowhead Stadium to take on the AFC champions. Unfortunately, not the three-time back-to-back Super Bowl champions, due to the Philadelphia Eagles in the Kansas City Chiefs for a Super Bowl LIX rematch. And I have said this multiple times while talking on the podcast, whether or not you look at the entirety of the schedule or you don't, this game, I know it's week 2. This game could go down as one of the biggest games for the Kansas City Chiefs for the remainder of their 2025 season. And I say that because there is a lot riding on this game. Firstly, which I've noted multiple times through the podcast, if you're a consistent listener, if not, here's some updates for you. The Kansas City Chiefs have been unsuccessful in the win category since losing to the Philadelphia Eagles back in February. They lost that game. They lost 3 preseason games. While those don't count, they are important because it is the trajectory, unfortunately, that the Kansas City Chiefs are on, as well as dropping their Week 1 opener against the Los Angeles Chargers, AFC West divisional foe in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, that in itself is got to be motivation for the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't want to start the season 0-2. And Zach Gilbert and I, he is our other co-beat writer. He is boots on the ground within the Kansas City Chiefs facility. We debated on the podcast yesterday whether or not starting the 0-2 for the 2025 campaign for the Chiefs is a end-all be-all. Should there be time to panic? If you missed that, go check it out. But they're also holding a big game at Arrowhead because it is their first time meeting since being embarrassed 40-22 in the Super Bowl. Now, I know at the final line score, it's not that bad when you look at it 40-22, but the game was so further fetched than that. It kind of just seemed like the Kansas City Chiefs can never get out of the gates, and that's something that they're trying to avoid in week 2. Head coach Andy Reid, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, quarterback Patrick Mahomes, tight end Travis Kelce, they are all ready, all of them, just to name a few just there, are ready to take on this Philadelphia Eagles team. An insider in Zach Gilbert, he told us that there is only motivation within that organization right now to take down the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only are they looking to get their own victory, but they're also looking to get themselves revenge. If this is the quote-unquote revenge season, what better way to start it off than against the team that causes you to have the revenge? Now, you know that you're going to see the Los Angeles Chargers down the line, and that's another narrative in the revenge season since they did take the first week. But in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about my final prediction for the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Initially, you might remember when the schedule first came out, way back when, I dropped a initial game prediction, game by game prediction for the Kansas City Chiefs. I predicted them to beat the Los Angeles Chargers in week 1 just by recency bias and how they have always done so in the recency in our profession in the sport. I did take the Philadelphia Eagles dethroning and taking down the Chiefs in Arrowhead. But now that I look at it and how the rosters are constructed, the Kansas City Chiefs are without Rashee Rice. They are without Xavier Worthy due to injury, and they also have to rely on a wide receiving room that has suddenly got a lot older. You've got Hollywood Brown, you've got Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton. Those are going to be your prime receivers for this Philadelphia Eagles game. Now, on paper, you would love to have Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Who wouldn't? There are 2 talented wide receivers. arguably the best that the Chiefs have in the organization. Now that they're sidelined, there are other concerns that the Chiefs aren't going to be able to take down the Eagles. I would say, in my final prediction, I would say the best way that the Kansas City Chiefs can be successful in this game is seeing the improvement on the offensive line, a struggle area that the Chiefs had last season in the Super Bowl, not giving any protection to Patrick Mahomes. If they can do that while seeing the veteran leadership, maybe even getting Travis Kelce out there, he's had a great career number against the Philadelphia Eagles. There is a way that the Kansas City Chiefs can win this game. But a final prediction, I wouldn't be shocked if the Philadelphia Eagles came into Arrowhead and they walked out victorious. For the prediction's sake, I would say that is probable, but there is a world where Kansas City can hold down the home fort and kick Philadelphia out as losers. You've got to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. The way that I see it in my head is that to be the man, you have to beat the man. The Kansas City Chiefs are still the man in the AFC to beat, but the recent man is the Philadelphia Eagles. We could be seeing another Super Bowl preview in Arrowhead currently right now. The game starts later on today. If the offensive line, whether that be Josh Simmons, Jawan Taylor, Kingsley Suamataia, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, if they can do their job, limit any rushes towards Patrick Mahomes and allowing him to be evasive in the pocket, locate some wide receivers, I think that they can be successful. They also have to keep this game close. The Chiefs' defense last season in the Super Bowl, they held their own as much as they could, but the offense was so bad that even though the defense was out there for multiple snaps while the Eagles offense was punching themselves down the field, they didn't necessarily score immediately. And then once they got the Chiefs offense out there, there was a lot of sacks that led to quick turnovers, 3 and outs, interceptions, and the defense just had to go back out there just with, dragging their butts behind them, dragging a 20-pound luggage weight on their back, trying to maintain the explosiveness of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, they didn't perform that terrifically in the first week. We saw them allowed 27 points to the Los Angeles Chargers. Granted, Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense, they looked terrific. They wanted that game. But I know that this Kansas City Chiefs team on the defensive side of the ball is much better. They have the pieces to do so. You got to rely on Chris Jones. You got to rely on George Karlaftis, just to name a few. There's ways to beat the Eagles. The Chiefs have to play a damn near close, perfect game in order to walk away victorious, because knowing they have the motivation, but so do the Eagles. The Eagles want to just, have that last shovel of dirt and throw it over the dynasty of Kansas City. And if they can do that while doing it in Arrowhead in front of the thousands of Chiefs Kingdom fans, I think that there's a way that they're going to look to do so. But home field advantage, I think Chiefs Kingdom is going to make their presence known. Final prediction for this game, if the Kansas City Chiefs can be flawless, I would say it will be a shootout close to the 30-point range, maybe 29, 30 points. Worst case scenario, I can see a world where the Eagles have not a similar performance that they had in the Super Bowl. I don't think that would happen. But I do think that if the Chiefs kind of stumble and they beat themselves, they don't have an explosiveness on the offense, the Kansas City Chiefs might start this season 0-2 and start to play catch up with the rest of the AFC West, as well as the conference in total. That being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, as always, follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs, especially while the game's going on. I will be tweeting and making sure that you've got some information coming your way. You should also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI, over on X, Everything gets posted there exclusively free for you. Podcasts, articles, analysis. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news, ladies and gentlemen. With that, as always, be kind to one another, and I'll see you tomorrow to recap this game.